start, and so is Tim Hardaway, or as I started calling him, Steph Hardaway, because he looked like Steph Hardaway. And all of a sudden, they get down 5 early in the third quarter, and they go on a 30-6 run. When they were down 5, I thought they were cooked again. They kept digging themselves out of hole after hole after hole against the greatest score. You've already made the case. No one has scored like this, the way Luka is scoring.
No, never.
Okay? So it took all of their guts and gumption and grit and backbone and heart and soul. It took it. They kept climbing out of holes because they're the Clippers. Again, the expectations were they were favored in every game, so they're expected to win, but they're also expected to collapse because they have a history of collapse. They have a history of being the second team in LA, the other team, right?
What about the Raptors with Kawhi? They was down 0-2 with the MVP, and they won 4 straight in the Eastern Conference Semis.
Where did they lose the 2?
They was on the road. Yes.
Yeah, they lost.
Yes.
These guys lost the first 2 at home.
And win 4 straight.
Okay, let's look at what happened in that fateful series when the Golden State Warriors were up 3-1 in 2016.
Yeah, what happened?
On your LeBrons. Draymond Green got suspended for Game 5. So don't give me it was full strength, because he was the guts and the glue of that team. He was their enforcer, and he was trying to enforce so strongly that he got into it with LeBron James and yelled out as loud as he could yell, called him the B word. And Kiki Vandeweghe, who ran the discipline program for the NBA, heard it in the second row. And he said, well, that's enough, because there'd been a kicking incident already in the previous round.
But Draymond had a history of kicking people.
Okay, he did.
Remember, he got Steven Adams.
And he did it in the previous round of these playoffs.
Yes.
So he goes up the floor and gets tangled up with LeBron and kicks him in the midsection right in front of everybody's eyes.
Yes.
And something happened I thought I would never, ever see. The NBA suspended a starting player, a star, an all-star, for one of the 2 finals teams. Have you ever heard of that? I've never seen it happen before. You could fine him, but you can't suspend him.
Well, when they did, who that came off the bench? Somebody came off the bench. Amari Stoudemire. They suspended him for the game. Was that Game 7?
Against San Antonio.
Yeah, San Antonio. So it's not. It was not.
But that was a blatant breaking of a rule.
Come on, Skip.
Well, it was blatant. You cannot leave the bench and step onto the floor.
Look what Robert Horry did.
Okay, well, I'm just saying that was blatant. This was not blatant. This was a judgment call on Draymond.
Okay,
right? So there's no Draymond, and they go home for a Game 5 in which they're down their guts and glue guys.
Okay, what about Game 6?
And what happened? Well, they won the game.
What about Game 6?
Well, that's back in Cleveland, and both LeBron and Kyrie go crazy.
Okay, well, so what about the series before? Golden State was down 3-1 against Russ. And
I don't care, because we're talking about this one right now.
But I'm
you're saying this was the greatest ever.
No, I'm saying the one that you talk about, the Clippers against the Mavericks, is not top 5.
Okay, well, you're saying this is top 1, and I'm
yes, it is.
Okay.
Because it's never been done before.
Okay, but what happened in Game 7 back at Oracle? Well, it was not so much about what LeBron and Kyrie did. It's what Steph didn't do. Look how pathetic he was.
If we're going to do that, I can say, well, what about Luka's supporting cast? What didn't they do? If we're going to make it about what teams didn't do, couldn't we do that?
Okay, well, what about Steph's the MVP, though? Right?
Yes.
So it's what you would expect Luka of this series, the Golden State.
But you told me Kawhi was the best player.
Okay, but no, we're talking about Steph. He was a 2-time MVP.
Right.
He was a back-to-back MVP.
And we came back and got him.
And in Games 4, 5, and 6, I'm sorry, 5, 6, and 7, he was a complete no-show.
Yes.
In Game 7 at Oakland, you won 93-89, and it was more about what Golden State could not do, because Steph, in the fourth quarter of that game, went 1 for 6, 1 of 5 from 3, and had the crucial turnover when he threw it behind his back into the 5th row.
But I tell you what, you guys have been involved in one of the great comebacks. It just happened to you last year. The Nuggets walked you down 3-1.
Okay, that's why this was even greater. They were in a much deeper hole because of the home court.
But you told me last year didn't matter.
What do you mean last year didn't matter? Well, it mattered now.
Because
you have to deal with the demons of last year.
The demons, huh?
Well, you just do. This was the most unlikely, impossible.
What about the demons LeBron had?
Yeah.
Them demons that he had to overcome.
Well, you had a bunch of demons.
Okay.
2011 demons, 2010 demons.
So that's why it's the number one. Then I'm glad you said that.
2014 demons. Game 6, 2013 demons. Yep, he had a lot of demons.
It's not better than the Rockets. Skip, what about the Rockets when they came back against the Clippers? We just talked about this the other day. They were up 3-1, and they lost game, got blown. They was up 19 in Game 6.
But those were all home court series where it stayed on home court.
You got home court series. You had home court. You had Game 7 in your building.
I know, but they'd already lost 3 straight games at home.
Everybody. So
never happened before in the history of basketball. Never happened.
I can make a case. This is not even a top 10 come from behind.
You know what? The more you talk, the worse it gets.
Not even top 10. Not top 10, no.
You could just see on circumstances, on history, this was the most unlikely comeback in history.
Because it's the first round. I'm giving you series that happened in the finals, Eastern Conference Finals, NBA Finals. At least get the semifinals.
Did anybody expect your Cavaliers in 2016 to come back from
Yes!
Nobody.
I did.
Nobody.
Who came on your show and told you, say, come on, go. I'm driving the fire
and at the last second when I pushed you, as we were going off the air, you switched your pick back to Golden State. That's what happened. That's how much you believed.
I believed.
Nope, you did not.
I believed.
You said you wanted Golden State.
Anything's possible.
No.
Who was at the parade?
Kevin Garnett.
Who was at the parade? Who was at the parade in 2016?
Photobombing LeBron. It was you. Unless you photoshopped yourself in there.
I was actually there. Me and Oak was at the parade.
I don't know.
But Skip, this is not a top. This is not even close.
Yep. This is the most amazing thing I've ever seen in all my years watching the NBA back to 1976 when I covered the Lakers for the LA
Miami
Times.
coming back from 0-2 against Dallas, Skip, down 13 with 4 minutes left in the game.
Yep.
To come back and win 4 straight. That's more impressive than this.
And by the way, speaking of the Lakers, I need to read the tweet that I tweeted immediately after the Clippers won Game 7 yesterday because it pertains to your Lakers. If I could, if we could show this, please. Okay. For those who said the Clippers tanked to avoid playing the Lakers, avoid playing them at what? Golf, tennis, lawn bowling, checkers. Enjoy your vacation, LeBrick.
I noticed how you tweeted that. After the series, you didn't tweet. No, I needed you to tweet that when they was down 0-2. I needed you to tweet that when they was down 3-2.
So you were the primary.
True.
That the reason they did not play their stars down the stretch was what happened yesterday. Was Kawhi Leonard healthy yesterday? Was he looked like his gas tank was still full at the end of the game?
Utah Jazz, baby. Let's go, Jazz.
Yeah. I think they stuck it right to you.
Utah Jazz,
again,
baby.
You tried to motivate the Mavericks, as in they wanted you guys. They
did.
Yeah.
They did.
Show them. And they showed them in the first 2 games.
I'm going to get me a Donovan Mitchell jersey.
Yeah. Well, you're going to need it because this series is going to be very different because there's no Luka in this series. There's no Porzingis in this series. There's no Hardaway Jr. shooting threes from mesquite.
You do realize Utah is the best shooting